Hello, this is Cholera bringing you Game 2 of the MBC Survivor Group 6, and this is Upmagic versus Hyuk. And I have to say, after watching Savior win in Game 1, the Mutalisk butterflies in my stomach have calmed down a little bit. But if Savior loses Game 3, they might just be morphing into Devourers right now, because then I'll be really nervous in the final game. Okay, anyway, this is on Athena again. Here we have Hyuk, red Zerg here on SK Telecom 1 at the 3 o'clock position, and we have in, I believe it's going to be blue, Upmagic, a Terran player on Estro. And, you know, he's one of the few players, honestly, that's actually good on Estro, which is, you know, a little bit unfortunate, but, you know, Estro is right now the weakest team in the Pro League as of last season. At least they came in the last place. Behind Air Force Ace, though, which is good for Air Force. And I believe Air Force also beat Hambit Stars, so Air Force did pretty well there. Anyway, on this map, Athena, I think a Terran versus Zerg should be quite interesting. Because of the different ramps and because of the possibility of perhaps some tanks being in play here. There's a couple of high ground locations in the center of the map, although it's going to take a long game to have that be a possibility. I think Savior in general in the first game played a very, very solid game with a couple of glimpses of the old Savior scourging those shuttles. Like I said, wow, that was so important. One of the most pivotal points of that game. And sorry, of course, I'm just talking about Savior in this game, but honestly, as I was listening to the Korean commentators in the start of this video, there's a few minutes of it, all I could understand was Majayoon, Majayoon. Every other word was Majayoon. So it's obvious that Savior is the big question of this group, the big star of this group, of course. And honestly, the old Savior would not have broken a nail, would not even have to, you know, would not even have to use the right-click button. No, I'm just kidding. But to beat this group of B-class players in the MST group here. Really, none of these players I would call A-class. Upmagic might be the closest, but solid B-class or even C-class for these players. Hyuk did not perform very well against Pure a few weeks ago in the, I believe it was the OSL Group A, OSL Ram 36 Group A. He really got hyuked pretty hard, as I said during the commentary. Hyuk got hyuked. I don't know what that means right now, but anyway, he did get hyuked. And Hyuk now is going for a 9 pool, interesting enough. Actually, I wasn't sure exactly what it was. I think it was a 9 pool with gas, but it could be a 12 pool, actually. I think it's actually, depends on when the spawning pool is done. We'll see whether it was a 12 pool or a 9 pool. And interesting enough, we have a SCV hidden here for Upmagic, and Upmagic is actually a very creative player. He's actually going for a proxy factory here, so nice work by Upmagic here, going for what Flash did actually against Effort in Game 1 of their series in the OSL Round of 36, going for the proxy factory, and he probably, we'll have to see, Flash actually went for dual starports afterwards to solidly defeat Effort in that game. You should check it out as a great example of a Terran rush build, but this is really interesting from Upmagic. Upmagic is known for being a very creative Terran. That's what makes him pretty good. But I don't know if this is going to be very successful for him because Hyuk has gone for a 9 pool. He might be able to get a very early harass on Upmagic's base, in which case Upmagic really won't have anything to defend with because he only has 1 barracks inside his base. The factory is going to be far away from his base, of course. We'll see if he floats the factory anywhere interesting. 2 Marines on the ramp here for Effort, and he really, really, of course, needs to hold that ramp. Sorry, not Effort, Upmagic. I don't know if I've been saying Effort. For some reason I got Effort on the brain. But for Upmagic, and Upmagic is going to need to hold that ramp. It's going to be essential. We'll see if Hyuk has decided to has managed to scout this rather. Of course, this is on the high ground, so it's somewhat unlikely he will have spotted this. Of course, he'll know this is coming once the Vulture is out, and the Vulture is out. So immediately, Hyuk needs to change his build. He probably, I guess, will plant a Hydralisk Den right now, or at least a Sunken Colony in front of his base. But right now, he has absolutely nothing. This is going to be a big problem for him, of course. Creep Colony going down in the front. With some good Vulture micro, Upmagic could take down all these Zerglings, although now I think they are speed upgraded, so it's going to be a little more difficult. Now, Hyuk retreating to the safety of his main base. There's no drones at that expansion, although, interesting enough, smartly enough, actually, Upmagic focusing on the larva, he's going to kill them off, and oh, he is going to be going for the starport. By the way, I have tried this build several times against Vilda, my friend at SC2GG, playing off-race as Terran, and it's failed. miserably every single time. I was inspired by Flash, of course. I seriously, I tried it like 4 times. Every time it failed miserably. And well, no offense to her, but I can usually beat her Terran versus Zerg if I play Medic Marines. But it just it's failed. I just get rushed every time. My Wraith control is nowhere near the pro gamers, obviously. So it's a difficult build for me to pull off. Anyway, though, now we see, interesting enough, Hyuk has decided to go for the Spire. When Effort was playing against Flash, Effort decided to go for Hydralisks to defend himself, but critically, Effort had gone for a double expand, actually, so it was much more important for him to get Hydralisks to protect 2 expansions rather than 1 on the map Plasma. He went pretty greedy in that game, and it really cost him. This time, though, Hyuk is going to be able to go for Spire, and I think Spire is going to be a lot more effective against this interesting little factory rush build here, because obviously Vultures can't shoot up, although Hyuk is going to be facing Wraiths very, very soon, and they're going to be Cloaked Wraiths, so we'll see how good the Cloaked Wraith is against these Overlords. He needs to pick off those Overlords as soon as possible, or else the Scourge and Mulisks will start doing damage, and will pick off that Wraith. There is a difference, of course, between this build and Flash's build. Flash went for dual starports, whereas we see an early machine shop now for Upmagic. So Upmagic perhaps going to go for the siege tank, and he's going to be trying to siege that sunken colony down so that he can do a lot of damage with the Vultures, get in and just pretty much finish Hyuk off, doing a lot of damage to Overlord count. He's already gotten 2 down. The third one will go down, so I'm not even sure if Hyuk has any Scourge in those eggs or whether they're all Overlords. This is just absolutely terrible. 1 Mulisk out for Hyuk, and we'll see if Hyuk gets Hyuked again in this game, and it's looking like he's about to be honest. Bunker going up in the front. Wow, this is a solid contain here. Looks like Hyuk's trying to micro with, I think that's 2 Mulisks against a tank. I don't know where Upmagic's, whatchamacallit is, Wraith is, actually. Interesting, I don't see it around. Perhaps he's trying to get more Overlords in the field. Looks like he's going to be doing just that. Wow, nice work by Upmagic. They're suspecting there was an Overlord near his main base, and he's going to pick that off. 3 Mulisks, I think, going towards Upmagic space, and this is sort of going to be a last-ditch attack here. If it fails, it's pretty much over for Hyuk. And Hyuk actually just trying to pick at that contain, but he's not going to get anywhere with that small number of Mulisks. I think this is pretty much GG here for Hyuk. I wonder if